Right, so today I'm going to change my tensioner belt. As you can see, what's happened is that one of the tensioners is slightly tilted to the right. I'm not sure if it's very visible on the video, but the roller is no longer aligned to the tensioner, and what you can see is that the belt has started to be moving to the left hand side, so one of the thread has already started to wear off. Noticed that slightly today. Thought it's better to be safe. It's working. I did some 200 miles with it, but to be safe, I think I need to change it. So in order to change this, we have to start by removing the old belt. In order to remove the old belt and put a new one, we have to get rid of this plastic cover. So to remove the plastic cover, one screw is absolutely easy and visible from here, as you can see over there where my finger is, but the other screws are at the bottom. To access them, have to move the wheels towards the right hand side, extreme right hand side, and underneath the wheels we can access the plastic cover from this area. Now to access it, you have to remove this mud guard, which comes with a plastic bit over there and a few screws over here. So I'll start by removing those and continue the video. Okay, so I've managed to open it up. Now, as you'll see, there are two of these things, type of hooks. You just push them out and they open. There are two screws. One is a slightly large star. Now I don't have the size here, but you'll see it's a slightly large star. The other is a slightly smaller star screw. One of them fits down, so it's very easy access. The other one is slightly tricky. Now, depending on how long your screwdriver is, it's going to be very tricky to open up. So what I have is like flexible screwdriver. Makes it a lot easier to access tight spaces. So you might need one of those tinier screwdrivers to open it up. Once you've opened it up, you'll notice that the plastic screws are more easily accessible, and we'll now proceed to removing this plastic cover. So getting the plastic out is probably the hardest part of this exercise. So as you can see, there are two silver screws which I've managed to remove right at the bottom over there, behind the plastic bar. So I don't know if you can see from this distance, but this sort of like a bar coming out. It's all part of the plastic bit. Right behind it, which we can only access, as I mentioned earlier on, from below, there is, just to make things more interesting, a different screw. Now this one opens with a 8mm set, whereas the other ones, for some reason, open with a 10mm. I think Peugeot just want to keep things interesting. So once that's done, the plastic bit comes out. This is what it looks like. The two screws which were accessible from the front, the one screw which was the 8mm one, which was only accessible from the back. I don't know why this was very hard stuck. I had to pull it really hard. Now looking at the car without it, I can't see any loose bits around the belt. So in all honesty, I'm not sure what purpose it serves, but just out of precaution, I think I will put it back. Now what you see here is the tensioner. So what I did to put this is basically you have to take a spanner. Where's it gone? Yep. Pull it backwards. 1 second, I'll try to position this. Right, so this is the tensioner. In order to loosen the tension on the belt so that we can remove it, I just took a adjustable spanner, positioned it on this little bit, pull it with a little bit of force until you can see that hole over here. This positions it. I have a small drill bit which I've positioned here. That holds the tensioner back, but not completely. So whilst that's happening, I can check. It'll hold the tensioner back. So now to remove the belt, I've already done one tensioner out. For the other tensioner, I just used spanner bit. Basically put the spanner in, push it backwards, and you can see the tensioner go back. That releases the pressure and the belt comes out. Time to remove the defective tensioner. So I'm back at a 10mm spanner bit. We're going to open up the 3 screws. Oh, there's one. That's the second one. And the third one's a bit of a tricky location, but because of the drill bit blocking it, it makes it harder. So we have to go from, I guess, beneath. There you go. That's the third one. I'll just remove this very quickly. There you go, so I'll go on and just remove all the 3 bits. Right, the bit's out, here it is. Now we're just going to get the new one out. Right, so the bit's out. This is the old one. I'll just position it next to the new one so that you can see what I'm talking about when I say I think it's defective. As you can see, there is a big gap which moved the belt around, and I think that's why the belt started to get eaten up. So now we'll get on and install this new tensioner, and I'll be back as soon as I get that done. It's basically the same, right? So from a guidance perspective, you just position it back over there and screw it back in, the 3 screws. So 3 long screws, size 10 spanner should do absolutely wonders. I'll put all the part numbers and details on of the belt as well as this tensioner in the description. Time to put the belt in. So I have a start and stop car, so that's why I have a start and stop belt. So the belt goes just one specific way. We'll first put the one right at the back wheel. Make sure that's put in properly. And then I'll put the bottom wheel and the back wheel together, because these are the most tricky ones. And I'll do the top one last, and I'll tell you why. Because I think what I forgot to show earlier on properly is how to release this tensioner, the second tensioner. Now, in order to release it, I've used a 15mm spanner. 15? No, that's 16mm spanner. Just position it on the screw, pull it really back, all the way back, quite a lot. Now, unfortunately, I don't have another drill bit, otherwise I would lock it. So that's why I'm just holding it, bring the belt through, and oh, I put it in the wrong direction, sorry, let me get that through first. Get the spanner out. So I need to get it on the back of it. There we go. Now I need to this moved. Pull this back. this tensioner all the way down. It releases a lot of the pressure and the belt can easily reach in that case. So my phone's probably going to fall down, so you've got the hint. I'm going to just move my phone away and put the belt back. Belt is back in. Sits perfectly now, at least on this side. This side, the second tensioner also sits well, but I'm not 100% happy with it. I think I probably am going to change it as well. Touching it, it feels a bit rough, and I think that's probably slightly damaged. Now I don't want the fact that this doesn't flow as smoothly to impact the other tensioner again. And yeah, so now I'm going to just get my spanner back, pull this slightly, remove the bit, moment of truth. Let's see if it sits well. Yep, and I'm going to turn the car on now and come back here in a second. Let's see how this goes. There we go. Spinning good. No error messages, which makes me believe that the battery is getting enough power. The tension is not wobbling now. My prior one was wobbling a lot, so I guess that's a good thing that it's not moving at all, which makes me believe that it's well set down. I think what I'll do is I will not put the bit of plastic back for a day or two. Run the car like this, just check everything's working okay, and eventually put the plastic bit back. Hope that was useful. Everything else in the description.